Hey guys, welcome back to a Wild West Motorplex video. My name's Watts, and today we're continuing our journey into finding the right dirt bike for you. In today's video, we're going to talk about choosing the right dirt bike, factors to consider, what your budget looks like, and how to find the right bike based on the terrain that you're going to be riding the most. So guys, let's get into it. Again, smash that like button, tell 15 people that you know about Wild West Motorplex's YouTube channel, and let's get to it. Choosing a dirt bike and factors to consider. It can be a daunting task deciding on the right type of dirt bike for you. How much do you want to spend? What size bike should you get? What brand? What style of riding do you want to get into? 3 of the most common mistakes people make are purchasing a high maintenance motocross bike when they have little mechanical knowledge or little understanding of motocross. Purchasing a bike that is more than they can handle as a beginner, and also purchasing a bike that will outgrow them too quickly. The first thing you need to do is ask yourself some questions and figure out where you qualify. The first question, what is your budget? Are you looking to buy a new bike or a used one? You can make some big savings by buying a pre-owned dirt bike, but there are some things you need to be aware of. There are many advantages in buying from a dealer like Wild West Motorplex, including getting a warranty, after-sale services, financing and insurance, and also getting a great deal and someone that will personally customize and match you to the right bike for you. Now, when you're buying from Wild West Motorplex, one thing we'll be asking you is, are you paying cash or financing? If you're financing the purchase, it may be necessary to buy new or near new. It's easy to spend more than you intend if you're financing, but remember, you still have to buy gear. It's important to factor all the additional costs associated with a dirt bike. Things like riding gear, a bike trailer, a hitch carrier, tie downs, tools. All of these things can add up. A lot of gear can be accumulated over time. When considering your budget, think about how much time you will be spending on your bike. If you only ride once a month or less, it may not be worth spending $10K on a bike. But if you ride with your family and are lucky enough to have a wife or kids involved on a regular basis, spending a bit more money might be well spent. Number 2, what type of terrain will you ride most? The factor here to consider is whether you want to ride on the road or you want to use the bike entirely for off-road use. If you're riding on the road, what percentage would you estimate on-road off-road? If the vast majority is off-road and you only ride on the road to get to the next dirt trail, an enduro-style bike may be more suitable, with only minimal lighting and instrumentation to make it street legal. If the percentage is closer to a 50-50 road dirt or more road than dirt, you would probably be better off with a dual sport or a trail bike. The road selections will be a whole lot more comfortable, and you'll still have a lot of fun on the trails. You can even use a bike for weekly commuting and hit the trails on the weekend. If you're looking to get an adventure touring or multi-day camping, your best bike is going to be an adventure bike. The whole issue of the size bike you can handle off-road is also the next question, which we're going to look at right now. What size bike do I really need? While it's important to not go too large and powerful at the beginning, it's also important to not buy something you're going to grow out of and be looking for something else in 6 months. Motocross, enduro, and dual sport bikes range from 125 cc's up to 650 cc's. Those are usual adult sizes. A 250cc 2-stroke bike has about the same power as a 450cc 4-stroke, due to the fact that a 2-stroke fires twice as often as a 4-stroke. Number 5, but the arm winching power band of a 2-stroke may not be as suitable to learn on as a 4-stroke. Another factor to consider is your height, weight, and strength. Select a bike that fits your frame. If you're a fairly light build, anything bigger than a 250 may be too much to handle. And if you're on the heavier side, you may need to look for a larger bike more suited to your body weight, even as a first bike. Even 250cc dirt bikes are full-size bikes, and in a lot of cases are the same physical size as a 450cc bigger brother. The bike's seat height is also a consideration. Even though you can lower the seat height and linkages and make linkage adjustments, this small amount may not be enough. Long travel suspension has meant that dirt bikes have kept getting taller, so choosing a model with a lower seat height to start with may make life easier off-road. If you can't touch at least the toes or both feet on the ground at the same time, then the bike is probably too tall for you, and you're going to struggle in off-road situations. Generally, dual sport bikes will have lower seat heights than motocross and enduro cousins. Adventure bikes generally range from 650cc up to around 1200 to 1300cc twin-cylinder bikes. Although there's a growing swing towards using bikes as smaller as 250 to 500cc's, your choice here is largely dependent on the terrain you ride. If you like to spend most of your time off-road and negotiate tough terrain, the smaller end of the scale is way more suited for you. And if you want to cover lots of miles on road in comfort, and your off-road riding is mainly nothing rougher than forestry roads and open trails, the larger end of the scale is going to be more suitable for you. How much mechanical knowledge do you have? This is definitely something to keep in mind when selecting a bike. If you're not very mechanically minded, prefer to drop the bike into a workshop for service, you're better off looking at a new or near new bike, which is less likely to give you problems other than the usual periodic maintenance schedule. If you're confident in doing the basics like oil changes, valve clearance adjustments on 4-strokes, chain adjustments, air filter cleaning, tire changes, etc., you can actually save yourself a lot of money. Dirt bikes are a lot more complex these days with water cooling systems, hydraulic disc brakes, fuel injection, fully adjustable long travel suspension. And if you consider the electronics available in an adventure bike like traction control, ABS, electronic throttle control, then unless you're a qualified motorcycle mechanic yourself, you best leave it to the qualified professionals. Time to answer the almighty question, 2-stroke or 4-stroke? This is an age-old question that has sparked debate after debate among motocross fanatics and trail riders everywhere, and everybody seems to have an opinion. It's an important question though when choosing a bike because there are pros and cons of each. If you're new to riding dirt bikes, the short answer is this. The 4-stroke has a more forgiving and predictable power band, is easier and less tiring to ride, but they're heavier, require more maintenance like oil changes, valve clearance adjustments, and are more expensive to rebuild. The 2-stroke has the more snappy power band, is lighter, more agile, cheaper to buy and rebuild, but are noisier, more polluting, and require a bit more skill with your throttle control and gear changes to keep in the narrower power band. When deciding on a 2-stroke or 4-stroke bike, you need to consider your off-road riding experience and ability to handle the heavier bike weight, your budget when it comes to maintenance and engine rebuilds. Are you able to do a lot of maintenance yourself? The type of terrain you ride, tight, slow, speed, technical, or wide open sandy trails. Do you also ride on the road? These are questions that you need to ask, and another great way to figure it out for you is to talk to your local salesperson at Wild West Motoplex. You can call them or text them right now, 281-392-8852. What is your skill level? You need to put your ego aside for 1 second, and even if you're experienced in riding on the road, it's a whole different world riding off-road. Buying the latest model 450 Enduro weapon is a waste of money if the bike is way above your skill level. A 250cc bike these days has the power to get you through any terrain you're going to encounter. You're going to be grateful for the lighter weight every time you drop the bike, which is inevitable and will happen, and in many cases often. All the top manufacturers have great 250 dirt bikes that you can have a lot of fun on. The point here is to be honest with yourself about your skill level and not get in over your head, because that's how you're going to get hurt. When you look at the top enduro riders in the world, let's take Graham Jarvis, who rides a 300cc 2-stroke Husqvarna, you'll realize what is possible on the smaller capacity bikes. Check out this clip from Graham Jarvis. Which make a bike are you going to choose? Whether you buy one of the big 4 Japanese brands, Honda, Suzuki, Yamaha, or Kawasaki, or a European brand like KTM, Husqvarna, or Beta, or GasGas, you will find an excellent bike within their range. All of these companies have been building bikes for a long time. Some of the early Japanese brands have been building them since the early 1900s and have invested millions of dollars into research and development, and they know what they're doing and what they're building. Each manufacturer has a history with a dirt bike, and some of them are definitely leading the technology and the push when it comes to professional riding in motocross and supercross. If you're riding with your family, you're probably going to be inclined to lean towards a brand of your other family members. Brand loyalty is a big factor. Buying a cheap, unknown brand is also extremely risky. Keep in mind they're cheap for a reason. You also may have trouble getting parts or service for a cheap, unknown brand. AKA a lot of the stuff coming out of China is one-off, and when it breaks, it's done. And so if you think about cheap, in the realm of dirt bikes, cheap actually ends up being extremely expensive in the long run. So if you stick with one of the major well-known manufacturers, you're really going to have a much better experience getting into the sport of riding dirt bikes. Where should you buy your new dirt bike from? Well, I have a little bit of an idea. Check out wildwestmotoplex.com. A big advantage of buying a dirt bike from us, or maybe our sister store here in the Houston, Texas area, is because we have a relationship with the technical and the sales staff have great knowledge and understanding of each model, and they're going to be able to size you up for the right dirt bike if you're still confused and not sure which one you want. We also have advantages when it comes to after-sale support, technical advice, and many of us ride, so we actually may even know places locally for you to ride and hook you up with that maybe aren't necessarily known, or are private lands, for example, that we have permission to ride. We also have regular discounts. Our regular customers we get to know, and we create great relationships, and we get to know you as well as an individual and your family and your favorite brand. So as you're going forward in your career, we can tell you about new tech, keep you updated on what's going on in the dirt bike communities around the Houston area and in Texas. We're here to help. So if you're looking for a brand new dirt bike and you're in Texas, give us a call, 281-392-8852, and we'll do our best to help you find the dirt bike of your dreams. Also, you can check out our website, wildwestmotoplex.com, and check out our inventory online. On behalf of Wild West Motoplex, I'm Watts. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.